guys, my name's Raquel. I'm a homeschool mom going on our 5th year of homeschooling, and we really been enjoying it. And I know that during these uncertain times that might be something that you are really considering it, but are wondering how exactly do you get started. So in these next couple of videos, I want to show you kind of like the step-by-step of what that looks like, what that entails. So I hope you can join me in these next couple of videos, and please share them with your friends or other moms or dads that are considering homeschooling. But before we get started, I do want to take a moment and say this, okay? If you are really anxious right now with everything that homeschooling entails, it might sound overwhelming and you have absolutely no idea what to do. If you want to do this, if you don't, I want to let you know, if all you did this year with your kiddos is just read to them different books, because there's books about every single subject. If you went on nature walks or little field trips and you just spend time with your kiddos this year, you will have done enough. I promise you. You will have cultivated in them character through all these books. You will have given them appreciation for nature by going out there in nature, and you will have given them so much wonder and a sense of curiosity about the world and how things work, because they are free to just discover. So if that sounds right down your alley, like that's what all you can do, or that would be enough. I promise you. So if you need to hear this, and because that's what, if that just gave you like a big relief, then do it. Do it. You would be such a blessing to your kids, and it would be an amazing year for both of you, for all of you. So giving you permission on behalf of all the homeschools of America, embrace your children and just be with them. So that's it. That's all you need to know. Aside from filing a PSA, which is a private school affidavit, which the link is here in the video, that's all you really need to do. So if that's all you needed to hear, pause the video or turn off the video, you're done. Go for it, mama. And you'll always have a support group of all these homeschool moms cheering you on along the way. Okay, so step 1 of diving into homeschooling. Breathe. Just take a moment, take a deep breath, and just breathe. Okay. It's new, it's uncharted territory, and so it might feel a little tricky or scary, but I promise you, it's all going to be okay. So, take a big deep breath, and that's our step 1, okay? And if you need to take that step again, go ahead and do it. Okay. Step 2 is deciding if you are going to go solo, in the sense that you're not going to be joined in a charter school, and if you want to go solo, you would have to file a PSA, and that's a private school affidavit. If you're in California, I put the link down below in the video description, so you can just click on the link and then it will take you right to where you need to go to file your own private school. Like for example, for me it would be Ramirez Private School. It's, that you give yourself whatever name you want. However, if you wanted to join an independent study charter school, you will have to enroll in them in the same manner that you would enroll in a regular school, but probably online. Now, the only challenge with that, and I'm speaking more in California because that's where I'm at, the only problem with that is that right now, charter schools are inundated right now with a lot of enrollments, and a lot of them are capped off. They have no more room for families. There's a long waiting list, but if you can find one, or if you were fortunate enough to find one in April, then you're set, you're good. But if you are not able to get into a charter school, that's okay. You can always file your private school affidavit. Of course, there's always advantages and disadvantages to being one or the other, and I'm not going to get into the detail. I'll let you go ahead and research that, but I just want to let you know you can do either way and you'd be fine. You'd still be able to homeschool. Okay, so the next step, step 3, curriculum, right? That's all we want to know. What curriculum do I use? And that's a very loaded question. That's kind of overwhelmed me to try to find the perfect curriculum for your kid. So that's why I kind of want to backtrack a little before we just dive into a curriculum. One of the most important things that I was told by a previous teacher of my kids, because my kids used to go to public school, and one of my kids' teacher told me something and I really took it to heart. And she said, take your first year to just get to know your kid as a student, because I knew him as a son, you know, I knew how he was as a kid, I knew his demeanor, his character, but I didn't really know him as what's his learning style, you know, how does he think, what can I do to create the environment to really help him succeed while learning. So my recommendation is to know your kid, and there is an assessment that you can take. As a matter of fact, I've listed one in the links below in the description, an assessment test to kind of learn the learning style of your child. I also have 2 book recommendations below, and one of them is The Way They Learn by Cynthia Tobias, and they're pretty easy reads, they're not that long, and it's pretty interesting to discover or to say, oh, I knew he was like this, no wonder he's always doodling or whatever. So this was a really eye-opener for me, very encouraging. And the other one is 8 Great Smarts by Kathy Coe, and she also this one is how they learn, this one is how they think, so how they process the information. And you might think, well, I kind of already know what my kid is, and that's fine, that's great, of course you're gonna know, you're their parent. But in case you just wanted to have just that reinforcement, I love these books and I thought they were great. The links are down below. You can also find them on audio. So what that would look like, for example, my youngest son is a mover, so his math curriculum incorporates movement, kinesthetic, manipulatives, very tactile driven. So that would be something that he's able to do while also moving. I wouldn't be able to just give him a math sheet and him be okay and sit there. So working with him, me knowing how he is, helps me better choose that curriculum for him. And so my middle child, he's a reader. So he can read and read and read books and he would be fine. So for somebody like him, he's just like, just give me the math sheet, I'll read it, I can read the instructions and let me just get started. And my oldest son, he's very independent. He likes to go right on his pace. So giving him independent, like project-based assignments work really well for him because he wants that autonomy or that ability to get things done in his pace and giving him a lot of freedom to be creative. So like I said, knowing your child will make things a lot easier for you to choose that curriculum, right? And so on the other side of it, you gotta know your kiddo, but you gotta know yourself too, right? Because we're not all exactly like our kids, right? So we have to consider that when teaching. You kind of have to marry the both, how your child learns and how you teach. So for example, let's say I have a heavy reader and he loves when I read to him, but maybe I'm not a big reader, and how do we marry that? Audiobooks. So I have a kid that loves to hear stories, but I don't necessarily want to read all the stories, and I don't want him to have to read all these books. You can use audiobooks. That's a good way to marry it. And for example, my little one, he needs to read every single day, and I don't have time to probably sit there every single day with him, so I can have my older kids sit with him and read to each other. So things like that. If it's not something that you're super excited about or super something that you don't enjoy, it does make the task a little daunting, and it will make it daunting on your kid too if you're trying to get him to do something in a way that just makes it hard for him. So if you can marry both and find the common ground to make it work, that's probably going to make it more enjoyable for you, and it's going to be more enjoyable for your kid, and it probably will be more effective. So know yourself, know your kid.